Hey, Muscle Shoals, I'm talking to you. What's your problem? You start off with an intriguing story of racial tension overcome through music, and then you end up glorifying the very racism your subject deplores. I'm looking at you, Greg Camelier, director of this confounding jingoistic documentary that has no business telling us anything about anything. The documentary shows us how Muscle Shoals, a small town in Alabama, played a major role in the development of both R&B and rock and roll through Fame Recording Studios, which was founded by the driven genius Rick Hall. Hall was noteworthy for his colorblind studios at a time in the early 1960s when the civil rights movement had yet to leave its full impression on the United States. Hall produced a wide range of musical talents such as Wilson Pickett, Aretha Franklin, Percy Sledge, Simon & Garfunkel, and the Rolling Stones. Hall's rise from poverty to innovator is a great story, and one that deserves a better record than Muscle Shoals gives us. Because about 2/3 of the way through the movie, we are told how Hall's original studio musicians left him to work at a rival studio, which ended up fostering the early work of Lynyrd Skynyrd. The movie then proceeds to glorify Skynyrd as one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all time, a declaration sketchy in and of itself, and then shows us multiple clips of the band performing live with a huge Confederate flag behind them. Muscle Shoals then has the nerve to tell us more about the racial innovations of this rival studio, before the movie ends with Skynyrd playing Sweet Home Alabama with the same flag appearing behind the band again, adding insult to injury. The situation is not helped at all by Camelier's pretentious edition of his interviewees looking forlorn in the pastoral woodlands of Alabama, in sequences so staged as to be almost laughable. Muscle Shoals is downright offensive on both artistic and moral grounds, so I'd be fine with speaking no more of it. I don't know how you feel.
Oh, I actually enjoyed it a lot.
Really?
So I disagree. The Lynyrd Skynyrd part was only like a little bit, like a 1-minute clip, and I only saw the clip once. I didn't think anything of it. It wasn't even that big of a chunk to me. They covered more about the Freebird process, and then they had the plane crash. I don't even think that the Muscle Shoals record company even produced that song or their record.
The rival did. That was the thing, I think. Yeah, Rick Hall did.
But the story is just they're just trying to be honest with the documentary and about Rick Hall being dumped by his best friends,
which he totally was,
among other things that Rick Hall overcomes in the story.
Right.
But
and I think, like I say, I think Rick Hall's story is a really good one.
Yeah.
I think the Muscle Shoals story is really cool, and his spirit should be honored. I just think, and I don't think the movie intends to do this, but by putting the Confederate flag behind Lynyrd Skynyrd, to me, sends really crossed wires about
But they didn't put it there. It's just band footage from like the 70s.
But by showing that even there, by even including that in the documentary, you're giving a nod to that.
That's the Lynyrd Skynyrd way. I mean, that's
exactly.
They don't have other footage, you know?
No, that's very true. But I don't understand why Skynyrd belongs in this documentary.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. To me, that thematically is very
The one
consistent.
issue I had was that Bono shouldn't have been in it, but that's a small issue.
I mean, should Bono really be anywhere at any time is a question for a good debate that I'm not really sure about.
Very true.
But I mean, it's a music documentary, so he has to be there and has to show his thing.
Great music, too.
Very true. Yeah, the music is a very good story in and of itself. Do you have a favorite music documentary? Comment below and follow us on Twitter at POA Review, and you might be featured on the next episode of The Price of Admission.